Hello there, everyone. This is Chaos, and I am not going to be ranting. I am going to be kind of boardish lecturing. Alright, now, I'm gonna say this right now. This only has to do with multiplayer, so if you're not interested in being any good in the multiplayer, there's no point in really watching this. Thanks for watching. Before you leave, though, leave a like, just because you're awesome people. Anyway, so, right now, before, as of like the release patch, in the multiplayer, there's 4 factions. I want to say 2 that really dominate, and then 3 others that do alright. I personally use 4 factions, and I kind of rotate between them. But the factions that do really well are, as you can see, Egypt, Macedon, Rome, and Sparta. Now, this is kind of going to be this. What I'm going to be doing basically is just running through my builds, and then explaining the role of each faction, and kind of listing and kind of saying who they counter. So to start with, I'm going to start with Macedon. Macedon is a really strong high quality faction. They have high quality cav, which doesn't matter, and they have a whole bunch of high quality infantry. Shield bearers, which are excellent hoplites. Foot companions, best phalanx troops in the game. And then they have royal peltists, which are excellent sword units. So, as you can see, my army consists of 4 royal peltists, 2 shield bearers, 5 foot companions, 2 Thessalonian cav, and a javelin man. And I have a funds of 0 with a general skill type of commander. Now, I'm going to say this right now. The commander is the best general you can get. The abilities Rally and Raise Banner. Rally raises your unit's morale, and Raise Banner defense. The only other decent one that I've been able to find, I really didn't like Strategist at all, was Warrior. But this is only affecting one thing, like Warcry and the Fear. It only affects 1 unit at a time, and these guys and the commander's area of effect, and it gives you defense and morale, and I mean, those are 2 necessary things, right? So basically, foot companions are a phalanx troop, and anything that pretty much takes them head on is gonna lose. That's just pretty much how that goes. Let's take a really quick look at the stats. They have 85 armor. I'm pretty sure they used to have 100. That may have been nerfed a bit. Health is 40, basic morale 75. That's excellent morale. Melee attack, and the melee attack and stuff doesn't really matter, because the thing with the phalanx is your opponent won't be touching you unless they're a fellow phalanx, and there isn't a fellow phalanx that can stand up. The closest thing you're gonna find is a royal fucking, oh my goodness, I can't say it. I'll just show you guys. I'll show you when I hit Egypt. Anyway, yeah. So I bring 2 cav pretty much with all my armies, just to chase down the people who bring light infantry. I mean, back charges don't do a damn thing. I did a beautiful back charge in a game earlier, just to see if it still wasn't working, and I got 2 kills with it and lost 10 guys on the charge. So don't do back charges, guys. They aren't worth the effort. I mean, surrounded with infantry, that works fairly well, but back charges with cavalry, make sure that it's like a death sentence for your cav at this point. And then you can't even pull them out, because they lose another 10 guys, 20 guys, and then they rout. So that's Macedon, really simply. Actually, you know what? I'll explain my formation. I won't show you guys, because the graphics and shit suck, and it's not really worth it. But my front line is my foot companions. On each flank, I have my shield bearers. They're back a bit, but they'll protect my flanks from cab charges or whatever. Because yes, people do it, and sometimes yes, it is annoying. And then I have 2 pelletists on each flank, royal pelletists, and they aren't like the normal pelletists. I mean, they throw spears, but they're a melee unit. I mean, melee attack 69, weapon damage 55, right? Definitely a melee unit. So basically, what you do is you put 2 on each flank or something, and then you pretty much just charge them in on the flanks, and then you can pretty much wrap up the flanks while your foot companions kill everything in front of them. It is a really nice system, and I've won a lot of games with it. Next, I'm going to go to Sparta. Sparta is kind of the exact opposite of Macedon. I mean, they do have some decent-ish pike units, but they're not great. I definitely don't rely on them as my main force. I bring 3 Spartan pikemen, And then I also my main force is my Royal Spartans. I have 6 of these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As you can see, 6. And then I have 4 hoplites. So all in all, I have 11 hoplite units because I also have a hero of Sparta. So 11 hoplite units right here. And basically, you want to use what you do with the hoplites is you charge them in, then you put them in the hoplite formation, and then they pretty much just tank all the damage and never rout. It's blob charging with Sparta is a really effective way to do it, and I find that putting the Spartan pikemen in the middle and just giving attackers on like separate units as your hoplites are like poning on the flanks, and they'll just like run right through. I was playing this one guy who was Roman earlier, and each of my pikes came out with 200 kills. I had never seen it done before, never had that happen to me before, but I was super happy with it. And then again, these 2 citizen cav kind of just go for the light infantry for the late game, because usually people try and kite me with the late game after I kill all the Rinth. So just make sure you have some cav alive in the end so you can chase down their light infantry, and you'll probably be pretty safe, because I mean, I haven't seen something that can really hold up to this. Although, let me go back to Macedon real quickly. If you see someone going Sparta, go Macedon, because the thing with the Spartans is they're really good when they're in, like when they're in close combat, they'll rape. But the awesome thing with Macedon is you have amazing phalanx troops, and same with Egypt. They're not nearly as amazing as Macedon, but they're solid. And same with Epirus, solid like Egypt. But you'll keep them at bay, and then as if the person's stupid enough, which most people are, they'll just charge your phalanx head on, and your foot companions will get like 100 kills before they're even really damaged at all. Beautiful way to counter Sparta, for anyone who's wondering. So let's move on to Egypt. Egypt's pretty much just like Sparta. I mean, I have 2 cav. I have some spear infantry on the side to protect from cav flank, from like flanking charges from cav, and then I have my palletists right here, and I have javelin men. I have the same with my Macedonian army. This is just to use up the funds that are left over. And my pike contingent, 4 Hellenic Royal Guards, and then I have 2 pikemen. This isn't quite as good as the Macedonian army. It's not quite as high quality. But when they start balancing the game a bit more, I'm expecting Egypt to become a real powerhouse, because they just have so much variety and quality. They have solid cav, Ptolemaic Royal Cav, one of the best shot cavs in the game. Oh, that's a Lancer cav, by the way. Good pike, good range, so if range ever becomes relevant, and excellent melee. They have the Royal Pelletists, the Royal Thorax Swordsman, and they have the Galatian Royal Guard. Galatians do pretty decent, but as you can see, I have 0 funds, and so if I were to replace my Pelletists with Galatians, I wouldn't have enough money. Then they also have some decent melee cav. Tartan cavalry is pretty much everywhere, but the camel archers, I'm not sure how effective those are. Chariots, decentish melee cav. Well, cheap melee cav. And then elephants, of course. So yeah, as they start patching the game, I'm expecting Egypt to become a powerhouse. That's why I want to get a feel for the units now, even though they're only okay-ish right now. And then last but not least, we have Rome. So I don't use Rome very often. A lot of people do, but Rome really isn't all that overpowered anymore after you start figuring out the game mechanics and stuff. Sparta's a pretty hardcore counter to Rome. But basically, my Roman army features a lot of legionnaires. So I have 2 armored legion, 4 eagle cohort, 4 praetorian guard, 2 triarii, and then 3 legionary cav with a general and bodyguard. Nothing too special about Rome. Just make sure you get the abilities like whip, and then if you're engaging with your cav, make sure you use Draco with legionary cav if you're using this army. Not all the cav have it, but legionnaire and praetorian cav do. I know that for sure. So yeah, Triarii also have rapid advance. I mean, they're pretty solid unit all around. Look cool too. I really like the white horsehair plumes. Anyway, yeah guys. So, really quickly, all these armies are rush armies, so you pretty much don't go for a skirmish war, you just engage and then win. And that's it. Also, something that's a lot different from Rome 1, is units can move, like they can run, you can have the phalanx button clicked, and they can run in failing. So if you slow them down to a walk or stop them, they'll immediately go back into phalanx mode without your prompting. It's great. I love it. It makes it so much less. It makes it a lot. It makes it a lot less micro intensive, and you don't have to remember to pop phalanx. You just have to do it at the start, and you're good to go. So yeah, no reason not to pop phalanx at the very start of a game, because they can run even if they're in it. Now, if they're running, they aren't going to be like, they're not going to have the pikes down and all that shit. They can walk like that, but when they're running, they just put them up. But when they stop, they go immediately back into phalanx. So yeah, guys, hope that helps. And see you on the battlefield.